You match. You chat. You laugh at each other's memes. You make plans. And then, nothing. No text, no call, just a hollowed out silence where connection used to be. Ghosting on dating apps doesn't just sting, it destabilizes. You're not just losing a person, you're losing a promise, a rhythm, a little dopamine ritual that had begun to feel like hope. In over 30 years as a psychotherapist, I've seen this moment, this modern heartbreak, come up again and again in a therapy room. What looks like a short-lived interaction on the surface often conceals a deep psychological impact underneath. So a woman I'll call Claire came to me last year after being ghosted by someone she met on a dating app. They'd messaged for weeks, met up twice, stayed up late talking about childhoods and futures, and she'd started to feel that rare thing, ease. Then, silence. No explanation. She thought she was overreacting. It was just Tinder. But her body told a different story. Her sleep was broken, her thoughts obsessive, her self-worth crumbling by the hour. I feel ashamed, she said, like I should be above this. But this wasn't about him. It was about a rupture, one that touched a much older wound. Ghosting isn't just rude, it's psychologically jarring. Our brains are wired for completion. When something ends without warning, it violates the brain's sense of narrative. There's no arc, no goodbye, just a glitch in the story you were beginning to believe in. This is compounded by what psychologists call the Zeigarnik effect, our tendency to obsess over unfinished experiences. Ghosting leaves a loop open and your mind races to close it. What did I do wrong? Was I too much? Not enough? For those with anxious attachment styles, this can trigger a cascade of fear and self-blame. But even for the securely attached, there's still that elemental ache. I was here. Now I'm not. Dating apps aren't just neutral tools. They're slot machines for the heart. Each swipe is a pull of the lever. A match delivers a dopamine hit, the brain's way of rewarding anticipation, not pleasure itself, but the promise of it. You begin to associate the app, the conversation, the person with that subtle surge of being wanted. And when someone ghosts you, it's not just the loss of connection you're grieving, it's the crash after the high, the dopamine withdrawal, the rituals being broken. You're not mourning a relationship, you're crashing from a neurological loop. One of the hardest parts of dating app ghosting is the dissonance between what happened and how deeply it hurts. You may have only met twice. You might not even have kissed. But if you felt seen, excited, hopeful, then the bond was real. The grief is real too. And unlike traditional breakups, ghosting offers no closure. It demands that you write the ending. And we rarely write ourselves as the hero. Instead, we invent reasons. I was just too intense. I was too needy. I should have played it cool. It becomes a mirror for every old insecurity we've ever carried. Philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre famously said, "Hell is other people." But I'd argue the real hell is the absence of people, or worse, their sudden disappearance without warning. Ghosting reveals not just something about the other person's emotional availability, but about our own patterns, our longing, our self-talk, our wounds. As Harville Hendrix puts it, we are born in relationship, we are wounded in relationship, and we can be healed in relationship. Pain of ghosting isn't about a man or a woman who vanished. It's about what vanishing touches in you. In my own recovery journey, I've learned to pay attention not just to what I reach for, but why. Dating apps can become their own form of escape, from loneliness, from discomfort, from boredom. Ghosting ruptures that escape route, and the silence it leaves behind can feel unbearable. But in that silence lies the invitation to return, to the breath, to the body, to our deeper values. Sobriety isn't just about not drinking, it's about staying with the discomfort, staying with the ambiguity, staying with yourself when someone else disappears. So how to heal from being ghosted? Well, don't fill the silence with shame. You didn't cause their behavior, you just experienced it. Write the ending. Even if it's fictional, give your brain the narrative it needs to move on. and reconnect with reality. Go for a walk, speak to a friend, put your phone down. Return to your design for life. What nourishes you? What holds you steady? Go there. Ghosting hurts more than we think because we're not just grieving a person, we're grieving a possibility. But the gift, if we allow it, is this: the chance to turn inward, to ask, what did this awaken in me? And what am I ready to let go of? And that's not weakness, that's growth. That's emotional sobriety.